Hello everybody, this is Danny Mathematics again. Today I want to go over example 3 of how to solve systems of equations through the elimination process. And basically the objective is for us to find the value of x and y that make this system true, okay? Once again, our objective in this particular situation is for us to find the value of x and y that makes this system of equations true, okay? So we have a system of equations. The first equation, and I'm gonna label that one as equation A. All right, I'm just gonna give it a label. That's 5x plus 4y equals 22. All right, the second equation is equation B, that I'm gonna label it as, and it's 7x plus 6y equals 32. So our objective is for us to eliminate one of the variables so we can find the value of the other one, because we can't find the value of a variable if we have two unknown variable values, okay? So I have to eliminate one of the variables in order for us to find the value of the other variable, okay? And it doesn't matter which one that you eliminate, either you can pick x or you can pick y, okay? So what I'm gonna do is, I'm just gonna keep it simple. I'm going to pick x. So step 1, we're going to eliminate x. All right. We're going to eliminate x, and we're going to find the value of y. So once again, we're going to eliminate x, and then we're going to find the value of y. In step 1, okay? So let's go ahead and let's actually do that. So we're going to need both equations, but for us to eliminate x, right, one coefficient of x has to be the opposite of the other one. So for example, if x was 2, if the coefficient of the first one was 2x, right, then the second one would be negative 2x, right? Or if the coefficient is a negative 10, then the other coefficient I need it to be a positive 10, so they can both cancel out, okay? So a common multiple between 7 and 5 is 35, right? So if I multiply 5x plus 4y equals 22 by 7, then I will make this 5x become 35, okay? Now, if I'm gonna make that 5x become 35, then I need to make this 7x become negative 35, okay? So with that being said, I'm gonna have to multiply it by a negative 5, because a negative 5 times 7 equals a negative 35, okay? So once again, what we're gonna do is we're gonna multiply both equations within this system by one by 7, and then the second one by negative 5, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. So 7 times 5x is 35x. 7 times 4y is 28y. Okay, and I have a calculator so I can make the process be quicker. 7 times 22 is 154. Okay, and this, once again, this is still my first, or my equation that I titled as A, okay? So I'm just gonna color code everything so we can see everything clearly. So once again, all I did was I multiplied the first equation, or equation A, by 7, okay? And let me show you the motion of what I did. Multiplied it by 7, okay? Now for this one, I'm gonna multiply everything by negative 5, right? So a negative 5 times a 7x is a negative 35x. Negative 5 times 6y is a negative 30y. Okay? And then a negative 5 times 32, let's figure it out. 32 times negative 5 is a negative 160. Okay, color code everything. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we're almost done with step 1. We're halfway through. We have made it to where the coefficients that are connected to the x variable, they're opposite, right? A positive 32 and a negative 32 cancel out. It eliminates, right? So we're good. So now the only variable that we have left is the y variable, okay? So now let's add everything together. 28y minus 30y is a negative 2y. And 154 minus 160 is a negative 6. Of course, now we can actually find the value of y, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna divide both sides by the coefficient that's connected to y, which is negative 2. So I'm gonna divide both sides by negative 2. Negative 6 divided by negative 2 is a positive 3. So we know for a fact, or at least for now, that the value of y is a positive 3, okay? So now, since we know the value of y, what we're going to do is, we're going to do step 2, which is we're going to use the value of y to find the value of x. So once again, we already have the value of y, which is y equals 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug that into one of these equations. It doesn't matter if it's the first equation or the second equation. We're going to plug the value of y into either one of those equations, and we're going to figure out the value of x. So let's plug y into, since we use equation, well, it doesn't matter. It can either be equation A or equation B. I'm just going to go ahead and use equation A, keep it simple. So once again, in equation A, remember, initially we had 5x plus 4y equals 22. Okay? I'm going to color code everything. The x's and the y's. And remember, the value of y is 3. Remember that. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug in the value of y so we can find out the value of x, right? So I'm going to plug in the value of y. So that becomes 4 times a parentheses of 3 plus everything plus 5x in the front equals 22. Okay? Now, we're almost done. Now I'm going to do 4 times 3, which is 12. So now we have 5x plus 12 equals 22. Of course, we want 5x to be on the left side by itself, right? So we need to subtract 12 on both sides. Okay, so now I have a 5x equals 22 minus 12 is 10. Okay, now in order for us to find the true value of x, we got to divide both sides by its coefficient that's connected to it, which is 5. All right, so 5x divided by 5 is this x. And then 10 divided by 5 is 2. So in this particular situation, x has a value of 2. And remember, y has a value of 3. Okay? So the last and final step, and you don't have to do this every time, but you should, just to make sure that your values are correct. Okay? What we're going to do is we're going to check to see if these values are correct, to see if these values make this system of equations true. Okay? So since I used A last time, let's use B. We're going to plug in both values into the equation that I titled as B to see if once we plug in X and once we plug in Y, does it really equal 32? Okay? So once again, I got 7X plus 6Y equals 32. Once again, we're going to plug in the value of x and we're going to plug in the value of y. Okay, so now that becomes 7 times x is 2 plus 6 times y is 3. And we're going to see if all of that equals 32. Okay, 7 times 2 is 14 plus 6 times 3 is 18. Okay, and then 14 plus 18 is 32. And we know that 32 equals 32. So that's how you know that you got it right. And that's how you know that you found the correct values of x and y, which makes this system of equations true. All right, once again, this is example 3. I have 2 other examples already uploaded on my page. Please check those out. Thank y'all for tuning in today.